Let's just bring you a bit of breaking news for Arsenal and their pursuit this summer. Internal discussions continue at the club over a number of potential targets. We understand Arsenal looks seriously in January, and Sky Germany are reporting that talks between Arsenal.
Julian Álvarez. It looks like Arsenal and Barcelona both keen on signing him. He's expected to cost 9 figures. He will be 26 at the end of this week. He's got 8 non-penalty goal involvements in La Liga this season, plus 5 in 6 in the Champions League. He has been an amazing buy for Atletico Madrid, right? You know, he's maintained his kind of 0.6 non-penalty expected goals plus assists per 90 rate from England to Spain. Despite shots going down, he's doing more creation to compensate. 100 million for a guy who's 26. Like, I realize he's right in his peak years, but it does feel like slightly later than you want for that kind of outlay. Without being an insane freak like Erling Haaland, this is about as good as a modern attacker gets. He's good at everything. He's fast, he's skillful, he's a great ball striker, great engine, as you said, great injury record, huge defensive effort, can create, can shoot, has excelled in 2 top leagues, has played under demanding coaches. Like, this is proven player. And it does feel like Arsenal are probably going to try again at centre forward this summer. You know, like Gyökeres, don't know if they love him. Havertz has been back for like a few weeks, but still isn't making the bench half the time. Like, what's going on there?
According to a couple of the papers, Arsenal are exploring a possible summer move for the Atletico Madrid striker Julian Álvarez for a potential fee of around £87 million. Now, it's just a couple of rumours in a couple of papers, but this would be massive if it happened. Andy, do you honestly think it could happen?
I have a feeling Atletico might cash out. They're at least going to consider it, I think, because there's been a little bit of an uneasy relationship between Álvarez entourage and the club for a while. There are people around him who think that he shouldn't have signed for Atletico because maybe they're not quite an elite club. They're maybe an A- club with pretensions to being an elite club, despite the stadiums, despite the Champions League finals, despite a couple of La Liga titles interspersed with what Real Madrid and Barcelona are doing. But of course, they're not quite on the same level as Real Madrid and Barcelona. I tell you what, he's played so much football recently, which kind of, in the last couple of years recently, that's what prompted City to sell him in the first place. And now, I think they're looking at him. They were looking at building that team around him once Griezmann's gone. Now, Griezmann's still there, but will probably go in the summer. But they're looking at it and they're thinking, you know what, we're not getting that consistency out of him. And maybe that's just a knock on, like Lautaro Martinez, from playing so much football. But maybe they're thinking, just like City thought, maybe we make it someone else's problem. Because if his entourage aren't completely bought in, and you know, they're not getting a tune out of him on a consistent basis, they have to at least think about it.
Michael, talking about players with big price tags, Julian Álvarez, he's a name that was dominating before the World Cup, and it's developed during the World Cup as well, because after one of Argentina's games, he actually said effectively that he wants to leave to fulfill his dream. So he wants to leave Atletico Madrid. That dream, we think, is to go to Barcelona. They've already rejected 150 million from Real Madrid. They've got a 500 million euro release clause on Julian Álvarez. With these comments that he's made, though, do you believe now that maybe, just maybe, that price tag might just be eking a little bit down?
Yeah, definitely. And also, have you ever been on social media when you check if that account is actually real? You know, I know it's harder than ever, but when Atletico were sort of openly posting certain videos to Real Madrid and posting videos to Barcelona, I'm just double checking it. That tick, is it definitely of the official account? You know, we're talking about mega clubs, not, you know, we're not Ishmi and Ryman League. You know, it's quite unbelievable what I was looking at, but it was very clear. I was in Madrid for the Champions League farce of a game against Spurs in March, and he was the one the locals constantly talked about. There's something about him, and of course it was interesting to see his development from his Manchester City days. I know there's been tentative talks about interest from Arsenal. That hasn't really sort of come this summer, but it was maybe last season. So we are certainly entering saga territory. And when you've got Barcelona and Real Madrid vying for the same player, you are going to get a bit of a story.
You are, absolutely. It would help as well if he could maybe get fit and play at the World Cup, because he's been pretty absent so far. Obviously, he ended up playing the last stages of the season injured, didn't he? The fact that he was withdrawn chasing the game against Arsenal in the semi-final, that told you that he was probably playing through something, because when you're chasing that game, there's no way you're taking off a player like Alvarez unless you absolutely have to. So we actually haven't seen the best of him over the last couple of months, which is a big shame. But again, if 150 million euros has already been rejected, it is time to stop. Like, if it goes any higher, there's just almost no chance that he will prove worth that fee. We're ticking up towards Kylian Mbappe's £160 million-ish transfer here. And there's a debate over whether Mbappe was worth it, really, for PSG, even after all this. So I'd be very cautious here. Like, we are getting to the point here that they're dizzy heights with these prices, and players generally at this cost don't prove worth it. So it might be one to park and pick up another time.
What is interesting, though, because I was at the Atletico Madrid-Arsenal game in the semi-finals of the Champions League, and Diego Simeone actually did say, oh yeah, there are these clubs that are interested in Julian Álvarez. I just wonder whether, if it is a Real Madrid or a Barcelona, direct rivals in La Liga, that they're rejecting 150 million euros for, maybe Arsenal could see an opportunity here, because they are definitely interested in him. And would it take 150 million euros for Arsenal to sign someone like Julian Álvarez? Because Atletico Madrid would more likely, if he is to go, sell him to a club outside Spain rather than a Real Madrid or a Barcelona, right?
There's definitely an opportunity for them there, especially if it keeps dragging on in that Madrid. I've quite enjoyed watching Jose Mourinho come back to Madrid, sit there and just play games by bidding for absolutely everyone, and maybe sort of go, oh, actually, yeah, we might be interested in him as well, and just sort of toying with everyone while they're all sort of waiting to go. But if it carries on like that with Madrid, Barcelona and Atletico knocking back their bids, the longer it goes on, the more of a shot Arsenal have got, because Alvarez, like you said, has made it clear he wants to go. Does it really suit anyone for him to stick around, having come out that firmly and said, look, it's time for me to move on? And again, like Sam said, he's a great player, but he's not a generational transform your team, blow every single pound you've got on this player. He's not a Erling Haaland figure, a Jude Bellingham, who actually you didn't have to pay sky-high fees for, because deals were arranged with release clauses, and no one's obviously going to go up to that 500 million euro one. The longer it drags on, Arsenal have got the status, the stature, and the funds. I know they spent big last summer, but the funds to come in and maybe go, do you know what, we don't need an awful lot this summer. We just need a bit to fine-tune it and kick on a tiny bit more. And I think